Hey, what's up, nerds? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. It's me, Shane, and today we're doing Resolving the Stack. A little different though. I'm alone. Weird. But it's okay. I'm alone because everyone else in Guys at Magic is over at MagicCon Vegas. That's happening this weekend. So basically, Resolving the Stack is just going to be a bunch of MagicCon Vegas news. Sorry, I even glossed over. What is Resolving the Stack? We basically just take all the news stories of the week, 15th to the 21st. We're going to talk about all the news, but pretty much all the news is spoilers right now, happening in MagicCon Vegas. Before we jump into all the spoilers of the weekend, why don't we check in with the guys over in Vegas and see if they're having fun?
We're having fun.
Yeah, I figured you guys were having some fun over there. Anyways, we got a lot of new cards to talk about because Edge of Eternity was spoiled a little bit. We even got a little bit of Avatar spoiler. Like, I didn't see that one. I mean, I guess you could guess they're gonna do that, but super far away for that to happen. But we got cards to talk about today. They spoiled the new Tezzeret Planeswalker. That's pretty cool. Tezzeret Cruel Captain, 3 mana for a Tezzeret Planeswalker, starting loyalty of 4. Got a static ability that says whenever an artifact you control enters, put a loyalty counter on Tezzeret. He's got a 0 untap target artifact or creature. If it's an artifact creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. It's got a -3, search your library for an artifact card with mana value 1 or less. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And his ultimate at -7 says, you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on target artifact you control. If it's not a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot artifact creature. Pretty cool Tezzeret. Big fan. Pretty cheap. A lot of relevant abilities on that. But I'm gonna kick it over to the guys in Vegas. What do they think about this card, guys?
We have a colorless Tezzeret, Riley. What do you think?
It's a 3-mana Planeswalker that is incredibly easy to get into play. I feel like it's very, very easy to be able to tick this thing up, given that it doesn't actually have any upticks on its own, but I'm a little scared for this one. I feel like this might be more powerful than what it probably looks.
I think I agree, just because, like, I don't know, treasure's super easy to create. It says, doesn't necessarily say non-token artifact, which means however many food, clues, treasures you make, Tezzeret gets more loyalty counters. I think this could be a very powerful Planeswalker.
Yeah, I'm going to completely disagree with the both of you. I've never seen artifacts be broken. You can never play with Sensei's Divining Top and cast it for free off the top of your library. I don't think this is going to be a great card.
Time will tell.
The next card we're going to talk about is the Solthera Super Void. It is 2 and 2 black for a legendary enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature they control and exiles it. At the beginning of your end step, if a player controls no creatures, sacrifice Solthera, then put a creature card exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it. This card's nuts. I'm a big fan of this card. I'm a big fan of a lot of the art we saw today, or I guess yesterday or whenever they showed it. I love space. This is going to be probably my favorite set of the year, and this card is a banger. They also showed off some other treatment. Super cool. Like, it looks like a secret layer card. Like, I'm blown away from some of the art here. Once again, though, we got to kick it over to the guys at Magic in Vegas, live on the floor. What are your thoughts on this card, guys?
Riley, this screams you.
Yeah, it really does. I love playing around with sacrifice decks. I think this is going to be a card that I'm definitely going to pick up to throw in some of mine. I don't necessarily know how this is going to play out because it does have the ability to get rid of itself, but it brings back some extra value later on, so I'll play around with this 100%.
I personally don't know if it's that good, just because it does sacrifice itself pretty quickly, and hopefully something that was sacrificed you can get back.
I mean, for me, it's like if you're mixing Pyrohemia, Leyline of the Void, and Dothy Voidwalker into one card, and that screams really good. Yes, it'll sack itself really quickly, but you're playing this on an opponent's turn, where essentially you're just trying to get the best thing.
All right, but that's that one.
Next card we're going to talk about is the Shurima. 1 and 2 white for legendary artifact Spacecraft. Awesome. It says when Shurima enters, search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. It has a new ability called Station. It says tap another creature you control, put a charge counter equal to its power on this spacecraft. Station only has a sorcery. And then it says it's an artifact creature at 7+. At that +7, it says it has flying, and other tapped legendary creatures you control have indestructible. And it's a 5/5. That's crazy. This is really cool. Spacecrafts look awesome. Like, huge fan of this. With this, we got news that legendary spacecraft and legendary vehicles could be your commander. So that throws in a whole new thing for the game. Like, This set is shaping up to be so dope. Once again, what do the guys in Vegas think about this card?
The Surima.
The Surima. Yeah, so we're just gonna give our thoughts about this card real quick. New rule change, Riley. Vehicles are now allowed to be commanders. Legendary vehicles allowed to be commanders. What do you think of this new card?
Let me look over this one more time. Okay, I like the mana cost on this. I don't think I really care so much for the station of 7+. I feel like that might be a little bit too much on the slow side, but a tutor's pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, going off what Riley said, I mean, I do love the fact that once you do get this to 7, what is it? What do they call this now?
Charge counters.
Charge counters. Once you get it to 7 charge counters, all your legendary creatures are indestructible. I think this is probably just their idea of showing you one of the cool new mechanics with the card. And we're going to see some really good ones as soon as the set starts to release the third one.
Yeah, and once again, really cool kind of legendary artifact, spacecraft. New spacecraft is interesting.
I do have one more thing. I do want to mention this is also a 3-mana tutor technically. So essentially you're casting this for 1, 2 white and you get to search for a legendary card. So that is kind of nice and white. I'm just saying.
It is indeed.
We got to look at a couple of the precons. Really cool so far. The Jund one is Sazeril, Genesis Shepherd. It's 2 black, red, green, 2/5 insect druid. It has flying. It says you may play lands from your graveyard. It says whenever you sacrifice another non-token permanent during your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to Sazeril's power on up to 1 other target creature. This seems like a pretty cool thing where you're sacrificing and then making something big. This could be a really cool precon, not gonna lie. These sacrifice shenanigans immediately make me think of Riley, so I'm guessing they're gonna want this, but I don't know. So I'll just throw it over to the guys in Vegas, see what they think about this card.
Riley, the Jund one kind of screams you a bit just because you're a Jund player.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Sazeril?
I'm going to be doing the upgrade for this one. I'm pretty excited. 5 mana is kind of a lot, and it's not really all that big, but there's a lot of things that you can do whenever it comes to just like playing around with lands. The ability for you to be able to play those lands from the graveyard mean that any kind of like fetch land is going to go absolutely insane with this, just because it's going to continuously trigger that landfall. And then he does have the potential to get pretty big relatively quickly, even though he does start kind of small.
I completely agree. I think just making one giant creature very, very quickly. Fetch lands will do this immediately. Then play them again from your graveyard. The card's insane.
Just going to build a Blood Moon deck.
Blood Moon.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
The other precon we saw is Kilo Apogee Mind. Blue, red, white for a 3/3 robot artificer. Got haste, and it says whenever Kilo becomes tapped, proliferate. That's amazing. That's super, super easy to proliferate. And we just saw that they have new spacecraft, so like tapping this guy to just do part of the spacecraft thing will proliferate the charge counters that you're creating, or any counters, like just proliferating by tapping this guy. That's nuts. I'm a big fan of this. I hope I get to upgrade this one. Let's throw it over to the guys. What do they think?
Whenever it becomes tapped, you just proliferate. This screams Shane. Shane is one to be doing this upgrade. Big proliferate guy over here. So, Riley, what do you think of Kilo?
You know, I like this card, but for probably a completely different reason. We've been getting a lot of energy support lately, and Jeskai has been one of the predominant colors for that. Working around with proliferation, I think, is really cool. So if you're playing an energy-style deck, I think this probably slots right in.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably going to be like more spacecraft because you're going to be accruing stuff a lot. This is going to become tapped a lot. Maybe make vehicles bigger. Okay, we are back. Sorry about the interruption, but Steven, what do you think of Kilo?
I think this is going to be like their kind of like push into those space station things, the charge counters, proliferating those, so I can kind of see the deck basically coming with a lot of those. So if I were building this, kind of like Riley was going about, the energy counters are probably going to be really important. But to be honest with you, I kind of want to go like Jeskai Super Friends. I think that'd be a really fun way to build this. Planeswalkers are really fun, and then you being in red, blue, and white, they're only going to be super strong Planeswalkers anyways.
Yeah, excited to see the rest of the decks.
Sounds like I'm going to be upgrading that, so I'm very excited. Let's jump into what I thought. I kind of predicted this, and it came true. But we're getting shocks. And not only are we getting shocks, we're getting shocks in standard. That is super cool. That means they're going to be printed like crazy. Shocks are going to come down in price a lot. You'll probably be seeing them in our precons all the time. I can't wait. But we got Breeding Pool, Godless Shrine, Sacred Foundry, Stomping Grounds, and Watery Grave. All amazing shocks. Cannot believe we're going to have shocks back in standard. I can't wait. I know I'm excited. I'm sure the guys are excited as well. What do they think?
One of the major things that they did announce is shocks coming back to standard, which honestly is fantastic when it comes to doing deck upgrades, is what we do. So you'll probably see shocks in the future be part of our $100 upgrade videos, which is great because mana bases need to be fixed immediately. How do you feel about shocks being in standard once again, Riley?
There's no blood crypt. Doesn't matter. Everything's wrong.
Yeah, there's only 5, probably coming out in Lorwyn, maybe Spider-Man. I don't know how they're going to do it.
I'll probably say Lorwyn. I don't want a Spider-Man skin Shockland, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, Shockland's coming back into the set. It's going to be a really good time. You can't really go wrong with Shocklands. In a standard format, I'm kind of scared. Fast mana, but you're losing 2 life every time you shock this in. Starting at 20 life. That's why I play Commander.
It's going to fix mana bases in standard for sure.
I did want to show off one reprint that we're looking at so far, Mutavault, and strictly just because of the way this card is formatted, very interesting. The name of the card now is like in the middle, and it just showcases the beautiful art up top, and there's like a little thing breaking out, and I don't know, this card is gorgeous. I know maybe it's controversial because it doesn't look like a Magic card, but I think this card's awesome. So I'm really, really excited to see all the different treatments that come out of this space theme set. Like I said, space is by far my favorite. Like, I'm very biased and I cannot wait. The last set of spoilers we got from MagicCon Vegas so far has been Avatar, like I mentioned. Crazy, we're already getting that. But they showed off Avatar Aang, which is like the main character of Avatar. Please forgive me. I've seen episodes, I've watched it, not that knowledgeable about it, so sorry. But Avatar Aang is a red, a green, a white, and a blue for a 4/4 human avatar ally. It's got flying, firebending 2. There's no reminder text on that, so don't know what that's going to be yet. It also says whenever you waterbend, earthbend, firebend, or airbend, draw a card. Then if you've done all 4 of this turn, transform Avatar Aang. Again, don't know what any of the bending is so far, but that's awesome. It flips into Aang, Master of Elements. It's a legendary avatar ally, 6/6, got flying. It says spells you cast cost white, blue, black, red, green, less to cast. Kind of sounds like Morphon. It also says at the beginning of each upkeep, you may transform Aang, Master of Elements. If you do, you gain 4 life. Draw 4 cards, put 4 +1/+1 counters on him, and he deals 4 damage to each opponent. There's a lot going on here, dude. Holy moly. At a whim, you can flip them back if you didn't want to have that discount, and if you just want to draw and do like absurd things. This card seems really, really good. Probably going to be in a bonkers commander. I don't know. This seems nuts. Art treatment is awesome too. Like, everything about this is awesome. What do the guys think? I know they're probably talking about this too over there. What do you guys think?
Avatar. We were not expecting to see Avatar stuff, but Avatar Aang is a flip legendary creature. Flips into another creature that's also Avatar. Let me see what it's called, please, Steven. Thank you. Aang, Master of Elements. That's what I meant to say. Very crazy card. We don't know what firebending or all the other bendings all on the card. Didn't tease that to us at all. But it seems like a very powerful legend.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of this one. I do think it's interesting just from the story perspective of things that Avatar Aang here coming in, 4 mana, that makes sense. But the ability of firebending too, seeing as that's the last one that he learns in the story, kind of interesting on that. And then the flip side of this is super, super powerful. That's a massive cost reduction, and if you do end up flipping it back, that's a massive bonus. So I like this card a lot.
I mean, 5-color good stuff. You can't really go wrong. I've been asking for a 5-color commander that's good for a while. I think we have one now. I am curious because I do like Avatar the series. I do want to think, and I'll predict that they're going to have a Aang for each color. I think that'd be kind of cool. A water bending one, a fire bending one, just earth bending. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I'm willing to make a prediction here just based off of what we've seen with this and then also the storyline. I'm willing to bet that we actually don't see a mono black Aang.
I think you were saying that you don't believe there's any black cards, period.
That was going to be my crazy prediction for this set. It's because there's 4 elements. I'm going to go ahead and say that, yeah, they've got 4 colors of Magic. We're completely dropping black for this set.
That would be wild. But that's it. That's the spoilers. Back to Shane.
All right, and that kind of wraps up all the spoilers we're going to talk about today. So we're going to jump into the part that we like to do around here, the community spotlight. We're going to look and see some cool art, some cool, interesting artistic things going on in the community. Starting with this one from user Double Soup. It says that for all the Bloom Barrow fans, his son loved the set so much that he created this entire scene out of Legos. And I guess they just showcased this at Brick World Chicago last week. This is awesome. I know Hunter loves Legos. I'm sure he'd love to pick this up if it was for sale. But this is really good attention to detail. Like this person knocked it out of the park. Really, really cool. I'm sure if there's any kind of competition and they win, maybe you could pick this up. Who knows? This next one is from a user that we actually talked about last week. Again, Aka Altered Art. He made another full art replacement for Counterspell. Pretty appropriate art, and I'm a little biased. I love Counterspell, but this is just hilarious, dude, because it's the title to this was My Face When I Cast Counterspell. Super accurate. I know that if you're a Counterspell player or a blue player or any kind of counter magic mage, that's the face you do. The person's playing something big, and you're like, no, I don't think you're gonna play that card. Well, I think that this art embodied this everything that Counterspell stands for. I love it. And then this last one, I do believe we talked about this person in one of the prior weeks as well, but forgive me for butchering this name. Dwi Pri or JWI-PRI. He's got another painting, it looks like. They've got another full art Alila. Gorgeous art. Like, amazing. I am just stunned at some of the artwork we see here. And this one takes the cake. I love it. I'm sure if I play this card, I would love a copy like this. Gorgeous. Wizards, hire some of these people because they are very talented in the community. But that's going to do it for us today. That is Resolving a Stack, the Lonely Edition. But, you know, hey, I got to talk to my buddies in Vegas. They're having a blast. But if you liked anything you saw here, please like the video. Leave me a comment. I love reading everything. Down in the description, I'll find a link to all of our socials. Follow us along. And on screen right now, these are all our Patreon members. If you want to see what they're seeing, which is early content, exclusive content, check the link in the description and consider subscribing. And a special shout out to our Gains Indestructible tier, starting with Aaron Hill, Aaron Martin, Brian Ganella, Daryl Tripp, Demarion Turner, Doc Jerome, Jimmy Ward, Kevo, Larry Killian, Samuel Abbott, Thrifty PSGR, and William Colombo. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys all so much. And until the next video, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.